Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Deborah Eckerling, goal strategist, book proposal specialist, author, podcaster. One of my books, 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting, which Brynne, one of my guests today, is one of the achievers in the book. I'm also the author of Your Goal Guide, and I believe fully you can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people. So each week I bring together some of my people, and today we're on to one of my favorite topics, which is networking. And if anybody asks me, Deb, what's your favorite way to network? I say my show, because I will connect people who need to meet. In the case of this panel, for sure. But also, if I haven't seen a friend in a while, I will say, come on the show. Or if I made a new friend like Stephen here, I'm like, let's get to know each other better. Jump on in. Let's have a party. You might be watching us as Goal Chat Live. You might be watching the replay. You may even be listening to us as Goal Chat on the Marketing Podcast Network. No matter how you found us, we're so glad you're here. And like I said, my panel today is like, okay, I love to talk. I'm pretty sure my guests today resemble that remark. Stephen and I were on a panel a couple months ago for the Experts Summit. And it was great because I had 3 co-panelists, and they've all been on Goal Chat. So Stephen, you're the anchor of the triangle, as it were. I'm sure there was a smoother way to say that, but oh well. Annie P. Ruggles, who I have known since we met during the pandemic when everybody was Zooming, because in the chat, I said I was Deb from the Deb Method, and she said I need to meet the person who named her methodology after herself, and we have been friends ever since. And Brynne Tillman, who it feels like we've known each other for years, but it's only been a couple, which seems ridiculous, through our friend Vivica. But Brynne, her tip in 52 Secrets was to leverage your network. And I would say between the people that Brynne introduced me to for the book and a couple of the people in the book, she's responsible for like probably 10 of the achievers in here, including Guy Kawasaki, because she said, oh, you need to interview Larry Levine. And Larry Levine just interviewed Guy, and he'll hook you up. And he totally did. So Brynne totally gets credit. But the whole point is everybody you need is at your disposal, but you need to be active and engaged and helpful. And we're going to get into all of these things. But first, I would love for my guests to introduce themselves better, because right now, all you know is they're awesome, which, although important, I feel like we could be a little bit more detailed. So, Stephen, let us start with you. They changed around the picture a little bit. So if people look goofy, it is not my fault. We are blaming Restream, but we love you, and technology do not fail us. Stephen, welcome to Goal Chat. Who are you, and why do you want to talk about networking today?
Great to be here. Thanks so much. It's really fun. So I'm a former leader at Disney World, and a 25-year change management consultant. But basically today, professional speakers hire me to help them land more corporate speaking gigs and to earn more income from every speaking engagement. What I love about networking is the transformation it has, not only personally, but also in your business, and just the magic of building community. Really, my heart is about building community with people.
I have a feeling, and I know I'm right, that is going to be a common theme, because it is all about community. You can't reach your goals on your own. And the more people you know, the more people you know. And it's like simple math, although, I usually do not get accused of doing math on the show. But thrilled to have you here and excited to get to know you better. And as you all know, talking is one of my absolute favorite things. So we're going to have fun. I am certain.
And Mickey Mouse is one of my favorite things. So I'm just sharing.
Win-win-win.
I'm a big Disney fan. It's almost like I'm geeking out like you were actually Mickey. But
hey, everybody. It's Mickey Mouse. Wow.
Okay, bucket list checked.
Okay, and we're highlighting Annie with the oh my goodness face.
I don't have to follow Mickey, do I? Please say no.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Hi. Ruggles, come on down. You are the next introduction on Goal Chat Live.
Right, can you do Betty Boop?
No, because that's just way too high. I can't
That
do
was
it.
good. Oh, you did it. That was good.
I can't. Not as good as Mickey. Oh man.
And this is
Hi.
from the person who refers to herself as the Cyndi Lauper of sales.
Correct.
Oh, I
And
see it.
yes, refers to myself and was referred to. Thank you, Deb. Hi, y'all. I'm Annie P. Ruggles. I am the founder of the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy, and I also create content under the name Anniepreneur and Anniepreneur Presents. And I'm delighted to be back on the show.
And why do we love networking so much?
Oh, I've been a solopreneur for most of my adult life, and it's incredibly lonely at times and incredibly boring at others. And a way to constantly change it up and grow and learn new stuff and not get stuck in an echo chamber is to get out there and meet some brilliant people and not assume you're the smartest person in the room and ask them to teach you something.
There you go. And we're going to get into your form of networking, Inadvertent, your latest, but we will wait and see coming up soon. In the meantime, Brynne, welcome back to Gold Chat.
Well, thank you so much. I have no voices, so I'm just going to start there. This is
but we should add that Brynne said my title as founder of Social Sales Link was too boring. You need to change it to
LinkedIn nerd.
So there you go.
Yeah, like no doubt. So here's the thing. We can't do it alone. I heard Annie say this. Like we need a village, right? And networking is our village. Whether you are an employee or you are an entrepreneur, if you are looking to grow your network, there's really two ways to do it. You can grow it cold, which means it's cold, or you can grow it warm, right? And so when you leverage your social proximity, when you leverage growing your, like if Annie cold called me and said, "Hi, I'm Annie Ruggles, and I want to tell you about the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy," I would have been like, yeah, no. But if Deb says you got to meet Annie Ruggles at the Sleazy Sales Academy, I'm like, oh my God, absolutely. Like the credibility through your network is huge. So, folks will say, hey, cold calling still works. Well, great, go do it. I'd rather slow down my outreach to speed up my network. To speed up my outreach. Both, actually. Slow down my outreach, right? I'd rather meet 4 people that were coming in at a high level of credibility than have 100 people hang up on me, right? So, and maybe 3 will take my call, but they don't know who I am and they don't care. Mm-hmm. So Deb and I became BFFs really fast because we shared one. Right? We shared Vivica von Rosen, who is still to this day one of my favorite human beings. And when she said, "You're going to love Deb," I came into the call already loving her because that's what networking does. That's why I love networking, because you only need 1 or 2 friends to get 10 or 20.
And the other part of it is the whole like-minded factor. Because you want to be hanging out with your people.
So I'm going to say I don't like all like-minded people because the way I think is not always the best way to think. But what I like are people that are on the same wavelength, people that are okay with me being the nerd, people like that aren't going to say, "Oh my God, she's not cool. I really want to hang out with cool people." Well, then you're not my people.
Wait. Are we not cool?
Oh, you're cool, Deb. I'm sorry. I am not. I will never be.
Okay. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you.
Okay.
I will also, I have to call out this comment from Mel Cass, who knows another Walt Disney nerd named Lynn Williams. So.
I know, my friend Lynn. So here's the thing. There are 2, when people say to me, who would you refer for LinkedIn career? There are 2 people, Lynn Williams and Ken Lang. They're the only 2 people in the whole world I think are any good. But Lynn Williams goes to Disney 4 times a year. 4 times a year. So if I can hitch a ride in her suitcase, I'll only refer her.
There you go. Okay, so I feel like in what I say is networking is actually relationship development. You go and you meet people, and it's just the start of the conversation. And a lot of people, they think networking is a dirty word. I love it, extrovert, because you never know. But what do you use as your definition of networking? And we're going to start with Annie on this one because she's very pensive.
My definition of networking, I don't know. I feel like I used to run my mom's office. My mom's a motivational speaker and now retired. And she would come home from the conferences that she would speak at or National Speakers Association meetings, and she would have just these fat stacks of business cards. And I would watch them go into this magical machine called the Rolodex. And it gave my mom the superpower of having anything she needed at any time. She would just go to the magical Rolodex machine, right? And be like, I need a florist. Flippity, 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 flip, florist. I need someone who works in the FBI. Flippity, 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 flip, FBI. And it was just magic to me. And so in my mind, anytime that I think about networking, I think about, first of all, filling in that Rolodex. But what I've come to learn as an adult who's not a 12-year-old running an office is that you can't just be thinking about what you need and have that go into the Rolodex. You also got to be thinking kind of more of a 5D chess of, okay, well, hold on. Who else in this Rolodex might know somebody else? Because that's how you turn that Rolodex into an actual ecosystem. So I guess my definition is Rolodexing toward an ecosystem. Terrible definition.
I love that definition. I want to yes and that.
Oh, please do.
Okay. So before I get into, I actually have a definition of networking that I just pulled out of one of my decks. But so that was cheating. But the Rolodex is so perfect. And that's why I teach LinkedIn. I teach LinkedIn because not only is it your Rolodex, but it's self-updating. So Annie's mother's Rolodex, when her FBI person went to the CIA, she lost all contact. She didn't have her new email. Maybe even her work numbers changed. And so the Rolodex would age. LinkedIn does not. You get to follow where they go, right? I change jobs. I update my job. It's self-updating. Now, here's the magic, and this is why I teach LinkedIn and nothing else. Well, I teach AI now, but for years, nothing else. So that's what I said. I'm used to saying it. But the reason I teach LinkedIn is not only is it my Rolodex, but it's the ability to search and filter my connections Rolodexes, right? And that's where networking comes in, right? So Annie says, I'm looking to connect with sales leaders at these 27 companies. Who do you know? And she can look up, who does Brynne know? Who does Deb know? Who does Steven know? If she's connected to us, right? And so that takes networking to a whole other level. Because if Annie just says to me, I want to meet sales leaders, I'm like, yeah, if I come in with a sales leader, I'll introduce you. But if she says, Brynne, you know 17 sales leaders that I want to meet. Here are their names. How many of these can you introduce me to? And I'm like, I know 4. And Annie's like, great, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why LinkedIn is the next level of that Rolodex. Okay. My actual definition that I had in some training, because I went and checked my drive, networking is a mutual amplification, connecting with non-competing advisors and vendors who serve the same clients you do, so you can lift each other through introductions, content, and collaboration. That's my official definition in some training somewhere.
Okay, and if you want, because I'm not typing that whole thing, but if you want to send it to me, I will include it
in private chat for you to copy.
Amazing, thank you. Steven, what about you? I mean, have we left you anything?
Lead with value first. and have a heart for building. And have a heart.
You're Brynne's new BFF. I'm sorry. Say again. Lead with value first.
Lead with value first as you build a community, a heartfelt community.
I love value first. For everything, not just networking. Just value first. Period is like that. Yes, like that's music to my ears.
I mean, one novel idea is create a lead magnet document that actually provides something, rather than a lead magnet that just talks about something but doesn't provide any real value. Like, give them something that they can take action on. That's just.
So I just wrote a Substack post on stop giving them the egg, give them the whole omelet.
There you go.
Because so many people give the egg like it's a tease. You say what the omelet's going to taste like, and then when they get the plate, it's an egg. Like, where's the omelet? Well, I'm not going to tell you how to make the omelet. You have to pay me to do that. But no, don't promise the omelet and give me an egg. Give me the omelet. And I agree with you. So value-based content is the whole omelet. Even garnish.
We love a good food analogy. Absolutely. I want to circle back to the Rolodex thing before we go down the what is your favorite form of networking, because I feel like we're tiptoeing into that. When my mom and I moved to LA 28 years ago, Arlene started a card file. So this was also pre-LinkedIn, but every place we went, so it was our version of a Rolodex, but with notes. In that way, and believe it or not, I'm sure you all believe it, I've thrown nothing out. I do still have it. And some of the connections are from, 20, some of the people are still there. How many of them that I've gone to LinkedIn to connect with? Now I'll have to check that one out. But what it goes back to is sometimes the basics are the basics. The basics are the basics for a reason. You meet people, you write notes, you keep top of mind who they are. So when you meet someone who needs what they have to offer, you're able to connect the dots. I mean, that is the essence of why we network, with a forward-thinking, connecting people who need to meet each other point of view. So even in old tech, like Annie's mom and my mom, doing it on paper, now we have, as Brynne said, self-updating. If I'm looking to fill a hole in a goal chat, let's say I've got 2 people, all I have to do is put in one word in my LinkedIn and say, oh, they haven't been in a while, which, as I said before, this is my favorite form of networking because it is also self-updating. Haven't seen someone in a while, come check in with me. Let me introduce you to great people. Stephen, what is your favorite form of networking?
Favorite form of networking?
Yes.
I would say inviting people, whether you call it a mastermind or call it an executive roundtable or just call it a get-together, but the idea of hosting a group to come together and simply tell them, hey, I have this really cool group of people that I think you'll find great value in, and you'll find similar interests, or you may be even able to support each other with your business. I'm bringing it together. So I have a group, for instance, on Fridays, and that's what I did, was I just said, let's build a fascinating group of people that meet every Friday at 12 noon. And so I would say building those types of communities, not to grow your own business, but to simply add value and to build a real community.
Now, this is great because everybody on this goal chat has a regular community meetup. So I do goal chat online, 3rd Wednesday of the month, is check in, set goals, mastermind each other. And I'm starting I've started a strategic starting point for book proposal clients who want to learn the ins and outs of publishing 101, but also get a little bit of support. So yes, I now have 2. I have 3.5 podcasts, 2 masterminds. What will Deb add to her head next? Brynne does, and this has been in the newsletters, she does office hours, and some are for paid, but once a month. Well, I'll let her say. Brynne, talk about your group. And Stephen, if you want to give me your link to your group, I will put that in the recap as well.
Well, first of all, when you said form of,
yes,
I just went to Wonder Twins Activate. Form of networking. Okay, sorry. It went in my head. I don't know. Okay, you have to be my age or older to get that, maybe.
I got it.
Okay. So networking. I love in-person networking. Actually, I miss it. I just rejoined the North Jersey Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to go back to in-person networking. I miss it. I was at an event. My daughter came with me, and she's awesome at networking. She told me she wasn't. She lied. She's awesome at it. And, I'm thrilled to get back into that. But practically, for you to go network, it's 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, you have to put on pants, right? Like you gotta forget the sweat. My sweatpants aren't going to cut it when I go out. So yay, Wonder Twins activate! I love it. So I love bringing people together, and I do have. Once a month, every third Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have open office hours where anyone can come join us. We talk about LinkedIn. We talk about AI. We talk about sales. People get work with each other. Like they network with each other, but it's also they're learning. And, one of the things I always say, and this is a mistake people make when you are networking in something like this, and you can ask a question. Ask a question because you're going to introduce yourself and people are going to now know what you do as a group. And so take advantage if you go to any of these. Make sure, if you have an opportunity to talk.
And I've got such a good example from your group. So Meryl Cass, who previously commented, I met when I was on Melanie Richards' LinkedIn Live. And every week, Meryl joins us and also shares the conversation out to his community. So today we have Lisa. I think we have a couple other Meryl-ites. But because I went to Brynne's office hours, and I'm a member of her community, so I try and go a couple times a month to the Thursday because the Tuesday is way too early. But because I went to that, I met Melanie. And because I met Melanie, Meryl invites people consistently to Gold Chat Live every week. So it really is the power of you don't know where the pebbles lead. Mm-hmm. Annie, what is your favorite form of networking?
Oh my gosh, we talked about hosting events. We talked about attending events. We talked about interviewing people or being interviewed by people. What haven't we covered?
Well, why don't you talk about your new thing and maybe it will lead to something.
You know what? Actually, volunteering.
Oh, that's a good one because you can feel good about yourself too.
That and great people are attracted to great causes, and great causes attract great people, and you never know who you're going to encounter. And it's not the only reason to do it, but it is pretty freaking awesome, especially when you are in any kind of industry that requires kind of that constant refresher of people, right? And that way you can pretty much guess you might have similar values to someone, you might have similar style to someone, you might like serving and solving the same problems. And that can be volunteering through an organization, or that could be going in a Facebook group and being like, hey, I have a couple extra hours this month. Does anybody need anything looked at? Or you can go, you can put that on LinkedIn. You can put that anywhere. You can go through an organization. You can volunteer to be on a board. You can do so many different things. You can go to your Chamber of Commerce and volunteer to speak. But all of these different ways showcase you in your best possible light and introduce people that are similar to you, often in their best possible light. So I'd say volunteering.
Oh, and our friend Liz Hyman just popped in. Volunteering is a great way to build relationships, way better than networking. Yeah. So Liz, who's also in the book, talks about networking for introverts, of which she is. Thank you for popping by, Liz.
Can I just say, every Monday at 7:30 Eastern, Liz and I network together. We have our own little call. And I'm like, get on Gold Chat Live because I can't talk to you tonight because I'm on Gold Chat Live. So
she is here chatting.
You're chatting because this is our time to talk.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing. I love it. And you can do one-off events. I have a friend who's doing a comedy gives back on Wednesday. Deb, do you want to go? Well, I'd rather volunteer, so I'm on that list. So volunteer shows up in so many different shapes and sizes. I'm on the board of Women's National Book Association in San Francisco, even though I'm in LA, and part of the networking ambassador and part of the events team, which is great for me because I get to rally the troops and do great programming and help people get the answers that they need solved to certain problems. So it's also, if you're local and there's a conference, volunteer, because you're always going to meet more people that way than you ever would as an attendee.
Work the registration desk. The best way to meet people at a conference, work the registration desk. If you can't get there for the registration desk, sign up for the help desk. Or to run things to the AV team. You will meet every single speaker. You will meet every single person checking in.
There's some brilliance in this room. Oh my God.
In the other, I'm gonna let Stephen jump in a second, but the other thing about volunteering is you're not doing it to get anything out of it. You're just there to be there and be support and meet people and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. It is not you need, like with everything, you go into it with I want to help out, and then you will benefit from it. But that's just, it is a sub. How am I saying this wrong? Yes, you talk for a living, Deb. You know sentences. It is
you write
additional. I write and I talk for a living. Oops. Ancillary. It's a bonus. It is. We'll go back to the food analogy. It is the cherry on top of the sundae. You're excited to have it, or you know what it is? It's when the cherry on the top of the sundae falls down and you discover it at the end after you've enjoyed this delicious meal.
Covered.
Yes. So there you go.
Yeah.
Always good when you can make a food analogy out of a mess. Stephen, what are your thoughts on volunteering?
Oh, absolutely. Volunteering is just pure magic. Absolutely.
And what is your favorite? Are you you're part of organizations? I would imagine.
Sure. Make-A-Wish Foundation is a really great organization. That's just one. I really enjoyed when I was working at Disney World. We had the village for the kids and Make-A-Wish Village, and so we would go over and play with the kids, and we also would play with the siblings, so the parents could get a break the one night while they're there at Disney World. And so we would play with the siblings and play with the kids. And it was just really meaningful. And I really appreciate what Annie's saying. It's about meeting people with similar interests. And as she said, great people are attracted by great causes. And so I just think it's a really special place to do it. And again, I would support what Brynne said about, it's a little bit about the value of what you're looking for out of doing it. I do agree that there's that value. But again, I think it's one of the things that I would just share is vulnerability, I think, is a key, not just authenticity, but vulnerability is a key. I tend to be more vulnerable publicly as a leader and as a person, and I always get feedback about that. But I would say being vulnerable and not talking about all the great things that you've done when you're volunteering and talking about yourself instead. Focus on the other person. And if we have time, I've written down a few questions that are great questions you can use to kind of ease into the conversation. But anyway, those are my thoughts about volunteering.
Well, you want to give us one or two of these questions before we move on?
Sure. So the key to this is building context first, so you don't just rapid fire questions and make them feel like they're interrogated. But one example is I've been watching Reacher on Amazon Prime, and it's been this really
good.
It's so good, right? And I was just curious, have you watched anything interesting lately?
Landman.
Landman. Okay, tell me more about Landman. That's great.
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton. It is 2 seasons. Have you guys seen it? So friggin' good. You'll like it.
Well, that's the magic. You just saw how Brynne lit up and was really excited to share. It's just, that's the magic of asking those kind of questions. One more would be, what do you like to do in your free time? So
watch Landman. No.
Watch Landman. Exactly.
Well, I'll add my favorite, which is I believe you could talk about food with anyone at any time. So one of my podcasts is Taste Buds with Deb, and I can just be in a dead zone of topic air. And all I have to mention is, that I have a food podcast or I'm a former non-cook, and it's like igniting a flame.
Wow.
You're a former non-cook.
Yes.
I like that.
A former non-cook who is an award-winning food podcaster. Makes it even funnier, right?
That's
Putting
great.
out a grandparenting book without grandchildren.
I am seeing a theme. Yes, active grandparenting is. I'm co-author.
I am an active grandparent.
You are. I am not, but I am co-author of a book on active grandparenting.
Aggressively active.
I know. We need to get a blurb from you for the book. Note to self.
I have so many. One of them is the rules at Bubby's house are different than Mom's.
Amazing. But Annie, yes, there's a theme. I am the queen of doing things that are different than I am.
How amazing. But that's the thing is in Brynne's definition, there is something of networking. There was something about amplification. And I cannot stress enough how easy it is to actually amplify someone when you vibe with them, right? Because some people think that networking is like the moment that you meet them and then cool, you met them, business cards exchange, we're done. But it's like, no, how are you going to grow together? What are you going to provide for each other? Even if it's just companionship, especially if it's just companionship. But that way of amplification. So the question I love to ask right away is, who did you come here to meet? And either they'll name drop, and if they name drop someone, I'll know right away. If I go to an event and I'm like, who did you come here to meet? And they're like, Alex Hermosi. I'd be like, cool, I heard he's over there. And then I move on because they're not going to let
you listen to me.
Right. But if they're like, hey, Deborah Eckerling, I could be like, oh my God, I love Deblet. Come on, I'll introduce you. And then we're off to the races. Right. Or if they're not going to name drop, they'll say something like, well, I'm working on a book right now. So anybody that can help me with that. Okay, great. And then most of the time, it reciprocates a question. Who did you come here to meet? Or do you know anybody here? Or have you been to this event before? But normally it's so easy to amplify. Who can I email? Who are you here to meet? Are you on LinkedIn? Can I comment on your content? One of the things I love about LinkedIn, it's the only algorithm that really shows you when I engage with content, not just post it, right? So, if I just met Brynne and Brynne just put out, or Stephen was talking about a really actually valuable lead magnet, give me your lead magnet. Let me send it to somebody. Go on LinkedIn. Let me share your post. Or, we talked about Meryl. Meryl, I salute you out there sharing this broadcast. That is a form of value first networking. That is a form of saying, well, who does Deb need? Deb needs more viewers. Awesome. Let's go out and I can supply that. Right. So I love that focus on amplification, because it's not always as obvious as let me put you on my podcast. Sometimes it is. But sometimes it's let me like that post. It's let me introduce you to somebody. It's let me be an ear when you need a friend, period.
So I love this. So one thing that I teach, and I'm bringing in so many more things that I've just learned, But Annie and I are going to an event. I say, Annie, who do you want to meet? I want to meet sales leaders. Brynne, who do you want to meet? I want to meet entrepreneurs that are responsible for selling but don't know how to do it. Okay, great. My whole night is finding people to introduce to Annie, and her night is finding people to introduce to me. And it's planned, right? So I'm out there having conversations, and I'm like, Deb, you got to meet Annie. Stephen, you got to meet Annie. And that's my focus. Who can I walk people over to meet Annie? And Annie's focus is who can I introduce to Brynne? And when we have a plan, right? So it's not just random acts of networking. I'm never just showing up saying, hey, this is what I do and who I help. Who do you know that needs this? Right? And I never talk about myself. And if someone says, what do you do? I help people with LinkedIn and with their sales with LinkedIn. Like, I don't say more than that because they don't care and they're not going to remember. What are they going to remember? That I introduced them to Annie. That's what they're going to remember, that I'm a connector. I'm going to connect with them on LinkedIn. We'll have a chance to have a one-on-one conversation. I'll invite them to an event, right? Like, they're networkers. I'll get them somewhere else. All of those things will happen, but we have to slow it down. So many people go in thinking, I got to make a sale. I got to make a sale. And as soon as you think that, you are never going to make a sale. You got to go and go, I got to connect people to Annie. That is my only goal tonight. And when you can do that, you will be a successful networker.
I want to quick say hi to Jay and Lynn Marie and Hamilton and Leslie, several of whom came to us through Merrill. A couple did not, but no matter how you found us, I mean, this is great. We have like a side chat going on LinkedIn. Oh, great to see you. Thanks, Merrill, for bringing me on. It's in Linnery said, I like random acts of networking. Absolutely. Because in one of my things, and I do more virtual. I've been doing a lot of in-person lately as well, but usually it's okay. I like to leave any conversation with, what can I have on my radar for you? You know, it's you meet people in person and then you follow up with a one-on-one, which can be a 20-minute virtual or whatever. But I always like to ask that question. I am always surprised on the rare occasion when that question is not asked back at me. Because most people you ask that question to, they'll be so grateful. They'll be like, great, let me reciprocate. And whether someone reciprocates or not, it goes back to what Brynne was saying. It's not about you. It's about how can you help people? And you're helping people by introducing them to your people. That makes you a valuable asset, a valuable networker.
So one of the things that I'm, because I do LinkedIn, is I teach.
You do LinkedIn? Really?
Yeah, every once in a while I dabble. Anyone in the free LinkedIn can go into the search bar, hit enter, click first degree connections, and put all the filters of your ideal customer profile. You now have a link of first degree connections with all those filters. I can take that link and I can bit.ly it and make it small. I actually have brynneconnections.com that directs that link, but you can share that link with anyone and they can then see who they know that's their first degree connection that you want to meet. So one of the things that I do is I help people create their link, and now I have that link for them. So I have Deb's link and I have Annie's link and Stephen's link. And anytime I can click on that, if I'm going to have another call and go, oh, here's new people on this list that weren't there that I might be able to introduce to. But the key is make sure that you create that search and you have that link available. So when someone says, well, who are you looking to meet? Oh, funny, you should ask. Click here and you can see all the people that you know that match my criteria. Is there anyone on this list you'd be willing to introduce me to?
It's brilliant.
A bing, a bang, a boom. Simple.
I should do it for a living.
I love this. And there's so much mutual appreciation in the chat. Keep going. And I did not say hello to Chris Stone. He was the one who picked up on our Wonder Twin Networking Powers Activate. So and again, if you're watching the replay and you've got a great networking tip, throw it in the chat. Connect with everybody in the chat. Connect with all of us, because you don't know who you need to know, who we know. And we're all about helping the other people, right? Random and not so random acts of networking. And if you're just listening, there is so much nodding and smiling. It's amazing.
So this is what happens when it's after 7 Eastern for me. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't have to be professional anymore. It's like nightcap time.
Well, and for me, I love the show. And it used to be most of my Mondays were, my kitchen sink day leading up to this. And then I started having clients who wanted Monday meetings. So I've been but today I had a free Deb day until the meeting. I'm like, it's networking. So like 20 minutes before, I get in on camera mode and get to hang out with my friends, which is why I love this forum so much, because it's a way to catch up and make connections, not just between you all, but with the people in the audience as well.
And amplify each other.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go on more tangents, but I want us all, I would love for you all to gift a goal to the audience. So what is something that they could do today, tomorrow, immediately to get better on their networking game? And Brynne is like chomping at the bit.
Create your link. Go into LinkedIn and create your link. You can bookmark it, but go in, search bar, hit enter, click on people, put in the titles of the people, CEOs or, whoever you're looking to meet, then location and industry. I mean, there's lots and lots in the free, and first degree connection. That is your link, right? And it's dynamic. If you have a new first degree connection that you connect with, it'll get added to that list. So you should always look at your own list anyway. You never know. But that is now your networking link.
Okay.
That's the goal. Go create it.
Excellent. Annie, what goal are you gifting today?
Love the one you're with. If somebody pops into your head, message them and say you're on my mind today. It's totally true. You can't be accused of being inauthentic. It shows some vulnerability, to Stephen's point, especially if it's somebody that you really admire or somebody that you would like feedback from. But the next time somebody's on your mind, tell them. Because one of the things that we do so often when we go to intentionally work on our networking is we automatically think about new folk and forget about the people that would love to hear from us that haven't in a while, that maybe they're only getting your newsletter. And that's lovely, but you could Voxer them, you could email them. If you have your phone number, you could text them. Be a human first and reconnect with an old friend.
I love this so much, and I'll tell you why. Well, other than the fact that, it came from you, it's brilliant. I always say that if you don't love networking with the air quotes, going out, meeting people, whatever, the very least thing you can do is message someone every day. That is like the lowest bar networking goal you can make. And you could do like 5 people one day and then you're clear the rest of the week. But it's an easy goal. I like when someone pops into your mind because it's true. But you can also intentionally at the beginning of every day say, you know what, I'm just going to say hi. Because in Vivica, who I met Brynne through, told me this story years ago and it stuck. Somebody sent a hi, how are you email to someone. And they said, I was just thinking about you. Did you get our new RFP? You should really apply. And this person got like $1 million contract because they said hi to someone who said you need to apply for this RFP and ended up getting the business. You don't know, but you're never going to be on their mind unless you put yourself there.
Can I, yes, Ann, because I have to go back to LinkedIn, send a video message. Get
Ooh.
on LinkedIn, go into messaging if they're first degree, and just send a little, hey, Annie, really great being on a panel with you. It's been, I don't know if you remember me, but last year we were on Gold Chat Live, and you'd be like, I remember you. You're the crazy loon. But yeah. But the video helps.
Yeah. The other version there is the audio message, using your phone with LinkedIn and leaving an audio message, because it's a pattern interrupt. It's completely different. People aren't expecting it. But what's also neat is they hear your energy, your spirit. They hear the inflection in your voice and all of that. The other thing I would recommend is, it's interesting how many women will respond to me about this, just unsolicited, when they first meet me through LinkedIn. But what's interesting is women will say to me, Stephen, I love how you have given out more recommendations than you've received.
I need to do that.
And so one of the things I'll just share with you is, in terms of your gifting that you asked for.
This is your goal to gift?
Yep. Is to make a list of people that you truly, authentically know. You know what they do. You know their business. You know their work. And then just give them a recommendation. Send them a recommendation through LinkedIn. And don't expect to get a recommendation in return. Just simply put it out there. But I think what you'll find is, while not everybody will give you a recommendation back, they will engage with you and they'll send you a message and you can reconnect with people. So the other version is, if there's somebody that you haven't spoken to in a long time and you want to reconnect, then do it by making a recommendation.
The bonus of that is you will show up in their people's feed.
Yep.
And you have real estate on their profile for a very long time. And we often say recommend your clients for being great to work with. And then it's really hard for them to shop you later.
What is each of yours? Do you have? Yes, I'm going to make you choose a favorite. Do any or all of you have a favorite networking story of someone that you met online, that you saw in real life, or real life and online, or just like a really bizarre, you can't believe? I love playing the game when I meet somebody. I'm like, I bet we have a lot of people in common. I mean, that's a great icebreaker too, is to see how many people you have in common on LinkedIn. The funniest ones are ones where I know from we have in common people from the various different sides of my life. So that's just a fun little thing. Brynne's got one.
So I had a really interesting, I was at a networking event in New York years ago. And someone came up to me, I know you from somewhere. I'm going, she knows me from LinkedIn. I know she knows me from LinkedIn. I feel so famous right now because she's all like, I know you from somewhere. And she goes, oh, never mind. I thought you were Bette Midler.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
I'm going to tell everybody I was on a panel with Bette Midler. And you can tell everybody you were on a panel with Liza Minnelli. We got this.
Oh, I was thinking Cyndi Lauper, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So
okay, Stephen.
I have a book that I've said that I was going to write for 20 years, and it's 5 Minute Secret. And it really goes back to a single question that I figured out when I was 19 years old to ask people to really connect. And so what I did was I cold called the 800 number for Walmart, and I asked for Sam Walton, and I got his executive assistant. And I said, hi, my name's Stephen Rowell. I'm just curious if Sam would have 5 minutes to share with me the secret to his success. And she goes, oh, that's so sweet. And she's very condescending to me, puts me on hold for what felt like an eternity. And Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, gets on the phone and he says, hey, Stephen, happy to talk to you. And the next thing you know, he spoke to me for over an hour. And I was absolutely blown away. So I hung up the phone and then called FedEx and did the same thing with Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx. So this notion of this secret, if you look back on your entire life, and both personally and professionally, and you think about it, what do you think is the secret to your success? And then what will happen is people will...
There is no secret.
Right, there you go. Exactly.
It's a menu of options from what has worked for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I remember you telling me that story, and I was like, wow. Because what does it take?
Yep.
You pick up the phone.
Yep. And I've done over 1,200 of those calls, and I've also done it just conversationally, like at conferences and meeting people. And what's great is you'll get immediately what you'll get is, that's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. Another really special one is you share it with people and you tell them to go do it with their parents. Go ask your father or your mother, hey, Dad, if you look back on your entire career, what do you think, in both as a father and in your profession, what do you think is the secret to your success? And I have emails from people that I've taught this in large audiences. I have emails from people that say, I was estranged from my father for 10 years. I did your secret question, and I ended up having a conversation with my dad for 4 hours. And it's the most meaningful conversation I've had. I learned more in 4 hours from my dad than I've known him, my whole lifetime. So it's a very powerful catalytic mechanism question. It's really great.
And the secret of the secret, Stephen, is that what does it hurt you to ask? Nothing. And the benefits are immeasurable.
Yep.
And don't discount the wallflowers, especially at in-person events. There are people that are shiny, that have groupies, and then there are people that want to appear shiny, and then there are unassuming people, and then there are the devastatingly shy. Among the unassuming and the devastatingly shy, there are just as many people that you want to meet, and you don't have to compete for their attention. And often you get to meet them more deeply because you're actually having a conversation, because while everybody else is on the dance floor or in the bar line, you're outside on a park bench having a real conversation with someone else on the spectrum who is feeling a little overwhelmed, just like you, right? So don't assume that just because someone isn't talking to other people that they don't have value. Quite often you'll meet the most impressive, incredible people in the entire world who you would never even know because they're not walking around like they're the greatest thing at that event. And so don't discount the wallflowers. Don't discount the shy. If you see someone who doesn't have anyone to talk to, I'm super introverted, but I'm loud. And so sometimes I will use that to my advantage. And so I'll just say I'm a little bit less introverted than you. And so I will go up to that person sitting alone and I will say, hey, can I sit with you? And then I will ask them one of these questions. And you meet the best people that way. Truly, truly, truly. Or you can wait online for one of the gurus. Why? You can meet somebody real right then, right there, and make a friend for life.
I have a yes and to that.
Please.
The other thing that's interesting is the whales, right? The really big movers and shakers. When you go to these conferences and there's 300 people sitting in the audience, the whales are always sitting in the back left corner. What's interesting is I've met billionaires. I've met people like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Russell Brunson. Before Russell Brunson was Russell Brunson, I sat in 3 different conferences with him, and he was in the second to last row. He's one of those introverts that talks about being introverted. But I sat next to him before he was the big Russell Brunson. But what's interesting is the number of billionaires and multimillionaires that I've met just sitting in the back 3 rows. And here's what I've learned. They have mastered the art of, if you're the one talking, you're not learning anything. If you're the one listening, you can learn. And so they put themselves totally in a student paradigm. A great example of this was Jack Canfield was at a conference and he sat in the second to last row, was taking copious notes and all of that. I've never met Jack at that time. I then walk up to Jack and I said, Jack, I was noticing you're taking so many notes. I'm just curious, what's one of the biggest ahas you've had from the conference so far? Jack talked to me for 20 minutes out in the hallway. Simply because I asked, what's one of the biggest ahas you've had? I noticed you were taking all these notes. And so the super successful people are there at those conferences typically as a student of life, and they're there to listen. And so I just have found over the years that the magic is in the back of the room.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a book? Because I know someone that can help you with a book. And like, you've got this magic that's just.
Oh, thank you.
Really? I mean, I wish I were taking notes. I want the transcript.
Thank you so much. You're very generous.
You do have some great stuff, Stephen. Please allow me to take you to the dark side of traditional publishing.
All right. I've been published traditionally once, and it was called Jumpstart Your Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I would love to explore.
That's my one traditional with Wiley. And then I have my son's publishing company for this one.
Oh, nice.
Do you have your book for show and tell too, Annie?
Do I have the novella somewhere? Oh, I don't know. Do
You
I?
have a novella?
I do.
Is
Deb
it on audio?
I do have. It's right here.
Oh my
This
God,
is
I'm
my noir novella that Deb was the godmother of, The Coach You Would Not Sell. So yes, this is my baby put out by myself.
going to get it on
Deborah's help.
audio.
So this is my personal action guide, Success from the Inside Out personal action guide. And instead of writing a book, what I did was I wrote a leadership personal action guide. And I found that companies loved personal action guides more than books. And so I've distributed hundreds of thousands of copies of it. The other one is Jumpstart Your Creativity, which was a co-authored book with Sean Doyle. He has a whole Jumpstart series. But yes, I'd love to chat with you about, I love writing books. I've got a new book coming out called The Strategic Speaker, which is all about how speakers can really double their income with multiple streams of income.
I know how to become a speaker.
There you go.
I want to know how to become one. I'm a trainer, but the speakers make twice as much for a tenth of the time.
It's a great point. It's a great point how trainer versus speaker, just that term, gets commoditized or not in the marketplace. It's so interesting. Yep. So yes, we'll have to talk, Deborah.
See, that's a good network.
I would love that. See? And you really did give a good example because I was thinking it. Gee, I really want to get my hands on Steve's book so we can sell it. Yes, this is, oh my goodness, such amazing content. And I think the point that I want to underline is that we're just talking. We're just learning about each other as we're sharing information for the people who are tuning in. And that's what networking is. It's, as I said at the top, it's relationship development. The more people you know, the more people you know. And as you get to know more people, you are the resource. Brynne says this all the time. You are the resource that introduces people. Brynne always says, what do you want people to say after you do an introduction? Thank you so much for introducing me.
That's my only goal. When I introduce Annie to Deb comes back and says, oh my God, thank you so much for introducing me to Annie. That was amazing.
As we both did to Viv when she introduced us.
Yes. And
there you go. Such a fabulous conversation. I see Christy and Pam are joining us live late and loving the conversation. We love that you are here. Stephen, where can more people learn more about you? Or where can people learn more about you? That's what I mean.
Sure. So Strategic Speaker Institute, strategicspeakerinstitute.com is a great place to see what we're doing and how we're helping people.
Amazing. And Annie, where can people learn more about you?
You can always go to anniePruggles.com. I don't want Brynne to yell at me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm quite active over there.
Shout out to follow you there.
I would love to connect with y'all on LinkedIn. And if you want to see some of the wacky, wonderful stuff that I've been up to, look for Anniepreneur Presents on YouTube, including the 3 C's of the book proposal Meet Your Metrics episode that I just did with this vision, Deborah Eckerling. So that again is Anniepreneur Presents on YouTube.
And what about your new Guppy Tank series?
Kitten Basket. So
Kitten Basket.
Will This Sell is my bold stance toward making focus groups available to solopreneurs and other micro businesses. Coca-Cola and Fruit of the Loom and Amazon, they all test their ideas before they put them out there. And we have not had that opportunity. So I have created a responsible container for us by us called Will This Sell? And that is every single month. And you can find out about that at anniePruggles.com. You'll look right up in that top nav and see Will This Sell? Thank you for that super generous amplification, Deb.
I will be putting this in the recap along with everybody else's link, and also my recent interview with you on Meet Your Metrics. So thank you for that. Brynne, where can people learn more about you?
On LinkedIn. Yeah, but also you can join our free membership and come to our once a month, every third Thursday coaching. If you go to socialsaleslink.com/membership, 24/7 free membership and community and all kinds of fun things. So that's socialsaleslink.com/membership. And I am on LinkedIn along with Annie and Steven. That took me 10 minutes to find because I typed in Roswell instead of Rowell. So I apologize.
And I am at the Deb Method everywhere. And if you go to thedebmethod.com/blog, you will get the recap, the replays, and all of the links that have been mentioned, including Stephen, Annie, and Brynne's monthly everythings. Oh, and mine too. And if you want to learn more about how I help people turn their ideas into book proposals that get attention from agents and publishers, you can go to thebookproposalexpert.com and subscribe to my Substack. And if you need a little bit of help with those goals, you can grab a copy of your goal guide and or 52 secrets for goal setting and goal getting at your favorite place to buy books. I am live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and you can also subscribe to @the Deb Method on YouTube, and it's my social other places as well. Boy, though, that was a lot. I am a lot. You guys are a lot of great information. I appreciate each and every one of you. What final thought do you want to leave people with, Brynne?
My final thought is, now that I found Stephen, we have been connected since 2022. We both lived in the same town, so close, within 20 minutes of each other. I don't live there now. But weirdly, we met through a networking event through someone in Australia.
Yes.
Tom Poland.
Yes, Tom Poland. Yes.
So we met through a LinkedIn connection in Australia, even though we lived 20 minutes away from each other.
I had Tom
That
on
could
my
have been your
podcast.
story.
That's
That-
awesome.
That should have been my story, except I was typing in Roswell instead of Rowell.
Right.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Annie?
I said I had Tom on my podcast if we just want to really make it full circle.
I do not know Tom.
Yet.
You're the only one left in the world.
Yet.
Tom's incredible. Yep.
Yeah.
Talk about leading with value first. That's Tom Poland's whole business model.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so Brynne, your final thought is that you already met Stephen. I'm sure you can come up with something else. Yes, and?
Yes, and detach from what the person is worth to you and attach to what you are worth to that person, and you will win every time.
I love that.
Okay, say it again.
Detach from what the person is worth to you and attach to what you are worth to the person, and you'll win every time. It's not about what you need to get out of it. It's about what you're going to help them get out of it. That's kind of what everyone said in one line.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to be here for an hour. That's all I had to say. No, kidding.
Okay, it looks like I typoed, but I will fix it for the recap. But I love putting these in the notes because that's what the notes are for, right?
I think this stream has transcripts, by the way.
Oh, I know, but this is my secret to the podcast because, again, I host 3.5 of them. I have to make doing the recap easy, and I will not use.
Who does the other half?
What?
You said 3.5?
Well, I'm a co-host of one. All I have to do is show up. It's the easiest one. Stephen.
Yes.
Final thought.
I would say come to networking with the spirit of genuinely being fascinated with other people. Because if you come across genuinely fascinated, it takes you out of the need to be speaking and talking and sharing about yourself, and instead just become totally curious and fascinated with other people, and you can show up the way Brynne and Annie were talking about.
I think that's such a good point. Can I yes and you real quick?
Sure.
If you're not in a good mood, do not go networking. You know?
Great point. Great point.
Or play a song and get yourself in a good mood because you want to show up as your best self. You will get the gold if you are happy that you are there. If you are miserable, and I shouldn't say this, I was at LA Times Festival of Books over the weekend. It was great. amazing networking. I had a woman come to my booth who I hadn't seen in at least 15 years. It was like, Deb, I don't know if you remember me. It was like a hug moment. I saw you were speaking with respect. My point was, there's still echo. I don't know. But so I will finish quickly. Of the whole thing, there were 2 people with frowns on their faces. Everybody else was neutral or happy. So when you're going out and about, be as you as possible because it will show.
Yeah.
And have a good playlist.
That too.
Have a good playlist. So Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. If you're ever in a mood, it'll get you out immediately. And I Believe in Anything by Wolf Parade. Those 2 songs together, man, that'll turn a frown upside down.
Awesome. Okay, Annie, final thought?
Final thought. Super connectors must be protected at all costs. The 80-20 principle absolutely applies to networking. You will meet the majority of the best people from one person. When you find that person who is the conduit, number one, that person probably has a high propensity to burnout. See what they need. See who they need. Reach out to that super connector. But also, they are such a phenomenal asset. If you haven't said thank you lately, if you haven't told them how they've impacted your business lately, get out there and don't butt kiss. That's not what it's about. But they're doing you a service, and it would be absolutely lovely just to say, hey, I meet the best people through you, and I really appreciate that. Because it gets you back on their radar, and it gives them the will to connect again. And it shows that vulnerability that Stephen brought up that I think is so freaking critical. So get out there, get grateful, get vulnerable, and make a new pal.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for joining me, Stephen Rowell, Annie P. Ruggles, Brynne Tillman. Thank you for tuning into Goal Chat. Again, I'm Deborah Eckerling, live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific. You can also subscribe to Goal Chat and my other 2.5 podcasts, most of which are on the Marketing Podcast Network at your favorite place for podcasts. Go on, connect with each other, connect with us. We want to be a resource for you, even more than you want to be a resource for us. So go on out there, go for it, go networking, because we know you can do it. Thanks, everyone.